Coming up on HRTV Rewind.
Novsky on the outside, mega heat in there, Novsky's gonna get up. Novsky, an absolute superb ride from Rafael Bejarano.
She's a New York bred. I mean, and I got to root for her just on that.
If you want to fight me for it, I guess get the gloves on. That's what we're gonna do.
7 Lively Sins now recognises Motor City as a huge danger.
And then, of course, Aidan O'Brien. We thank him for his generous number of pre-entries.
And these things typically don't work out this well.
Rapid Redux runs up the tally. 19 in a row. My flag does it! My flag under Jerry Moore.
This is HRTV Rewind, taking a look back at the racing week.
Less than 1 week until Breeders' Cup 28 at Churchill Downs, the mecca of American racing once again. Our crew is already there, so is Todd Bletchers. The Rapoli-owned Stop Shopping Maria preps one last time. Then there's horse racing's own version of the Fall Classic, and Windstar Farm is swinging for the fences with Drosselmeyer. And look out below. Mike Pender is taking a leap of faith in the mile as Geronimo works out west before his trip to Louisville.
Royal Delta for Billy Mott. I mean, he's got some big-time bullets to fire this weekend, and Royal Delta add her name to the list.
Yeah, she worked spectacular this morning. She went 47-4, out the 5/8 in 1 minute and 2/5, and never got out of what looked like a high gallop. It was very deceiving. She's looked great here for the last 2 weeks, training in the morning, had a good workout last week, and looks like a very happy horse to me right now.
Richie, based on what she's done lately, would you make her the morning line favorite for this Ladies Classic?
I would have to, especially the way she's trained here at Churchill, and she's a mare that's just gotten better and better without Havre de Grace, without a good blind luck in there. I think the 3-year-olds are definitely the horses to beat, and she's being the leading of the 3-year-old fillies.
Well, Mott's Drosselmeyer caught a lot of attention yesterday for the Classic. His other Classic horse, he's not the other Classic horse, just saying that. He was out this morning to honor and serve, and Gary, he looked very, very good as well.
Yeah, I would have to give him probably the work of the day, right up there near the top if you couldn't separate a couple of, because I couldn't separate Royal Delta and to honor and serve. I think he's a horse that's starting to thrive in the fall right now, brought along by one of the most patient trainers in the game and knows how to get him to the big one.
You really got to like the development of him at this point in his season, Richie.
Well, when he was injured earlier in the year, you'd have to think he might not even be seen again this year. So for him to come back and accomplish this much so far and possibly even more, and I agree with you, Gary, I think he absolutely, Bill Mott has a lot of horses sitting on a big, big race.
Uncle Mo, another one that was cross-entered for the mile, never been 1.25 miles. What's the word out from the Rapoli camp?
They are very confident that they can go 1.25 miles. And I don't think they would go this far if they didn't. I think that I think there are people are skeptical that he's 1.25 mile horse, but I don't think they would go this far if they didn't think so. And I think Mike Rapoli is, as I've said before, is like General MacArthur returning to the Philippines here, coming back to Churchill Downs, where he was so disappointed he couldn't run in the Derby, and I think that he wants to run in very much to win the Classic with a 1-2 punch with Uncle Mo and stay thirsty.
You're getting set to ride Game On Dude in the Classic. How's he doing? And I believe you've already got your instructions from Bob Baffert.
Yeah, Game On Dude's doing really good, and Baffert, he just wants to basically go to the lead. That's his style, and if you want to fight me for it, I guess get the gloves on. That's what we're gonna do.
So you're basically telling the guys out there watching they better get their gloves on if they're coming with Chantel and Game On Dude.
Yeah, they want to go. You've got a partner. I'm gonna go right to the lead, and we're gonna, he just runs better when he's got a horse fighting with him. So.
We start with the top-ranked West Coast filly, We Miss Frankie. What do you make of her chances moving forward?
Well, there's a lot to like Lafitte. I mean, she's the only filly in the race that's a dual Grade 1 winner. She's got to win 2 turns on the dirt. Nobody else has that. And she's got the right style. You know, if they go too quick early and a horse like My Miss Aurelia gets caught up and Stop Shopping Maria moves a little early, she could be the one to come pick them off. And she doesn't know how to lose yet either. And plus, there's a lot to like as far as the connections. I mean, Peter Urton's a guy easy to root for. And she's a New York bred. I mean, and I got to root for her just on that.
We finally know exactly, after all that speculation, how many Europeans were going to cross the Atlantic to run in the Breeders' Cup.
More actually than I anticipated, Lafitte. 37 international pre-entries. Now, last year we had a couple from Japan and one from Peru. This year they're all coming from Europe. We've got 10 horses that are expected to ship from England. And then, of course, Aidan O'Brien, we thank him for his generous number of pre-entries for the event. 12 individual horses, with one landing on the also eligible list. Up, whose first preference is the juvenile filly Turf. And O'Brien confirmed he will be running the majority of his team on Lasix. And Ryan Moore is booked to ride So You Think. In O'Brien's opinion, So You Think's ability to travel and stay could be more significant than any fears about his ability to handle the dirt. And quite a remarkable story, with Await the Dawn traveling all the way to America to compete in the Turf after nearly dying from pleural pneumonia following the Juddmonte International in August. 6 will be leaving from Paris to compete in the Breeders' Cup, including Goldikova on her quest for a 4th Breeders' Cup mile. Satisfying her trainer this morning in her final preparation, she was given the green light to fly.
She went six furlong on the sand with another horse. She's very well. I'm very happy with her. She's leaving on Saturday, and she will be there on Saturday evening.
And she'll fly in tandem with stablemate Salto for the Wertheimers. He's going to be running on Thursday in the Commonwealth Stakes, and then he will stay stateside. And the Turf, as usual, littered with international flair. There are of the pre-entries 2 females, Serafina and Midday, who own 9 Group or Grade 1s between them. Midday's aiming to add a Breeders' Cup Turf trophy to her filly and mare Turf Hardware, and Serafina has her eyes on becoming only the 6th French bred to win a Breeders' Cup race. She'll have her final test on the gallops tomorrow, as DeRoy Dupre calls it, and if she pleases, she will ship. There'll be at least 1 international representative in each of the 5 divisions restricted to juveniles. 2-time Breeders' Cup winning jockey Kieran Fallon has been confirmed to ride Casper Netcher for trainer Alan McCabe in the juvenile Turf. He was arguably best in the Middle Park earlier this month, and meets Farage again, the runner-up for Roger Varian. That day Farage was ridden by Frankie Dettori, but Roger must find a new pilot. And the winner of the Middle Park Crusade joins stablemate Daddy Longlegs in the juvenile dirt. With the fillies, the juveniles, celebrity chef Bobby Flay purchased the French-trained Dear Lavinia earlier this week from owner-breeder Joe Allen. The daughter of Grand Slams pre-entered in the juvenile fillies Turf. The race Bobby won last year with More Than Real, if you remember. And Christophe Lemaire's agent told me he is booked for the ride. In the marathon, we look at the pre-entries as an example. I'm pleasantly surprised by the number of international horses prepared to try conventional dirt this year. 9 pre-entered in races on dirt as their first preference, and 5 of them are horses bred in the US. None have ever raced on dirt before.
I've been here the longest of everybody watching all these horses, and unusual, I think, this year, Gary, a lot of horsemen have come in earlier with their horses over this racetrack, and I don't know, they're fighting the weather, but at least they're getting used to the track.
We're going to jump into the workouts for this filly and mare sprint division and start with Her Smile. She is a Grade 1 winner sprinting back at Belmont, but she hasn't been able to recreate that in her most recent racing. And Gary, she goes in 48 1/5 this morning for Todd Pletcher.
I thought this was a nice work. She was a little aggressive early on, but she settled into the work midway around the turn and finished up strong, Jill.
Yeah, I thought this was a really good work today, and I just think this filly's coming into this race. I know, she's put in a couple of off races, but I think on her best, this could be the perfect distance and the perfect racetrack for her. I think they found a very good spot for her here. And, you take Turbulent Descent kind of out of the sprint, and it's really a wide open race. I love the way she did this. I thought she went just as easy as could be, well within herself, and looked comfortable over the track. So I think Todd has to be really pleased pleased with this workout.
And Tar Heel Mom, she is a veteran in this division. She's a 6-year-old mare. She'll be making her 31st career start on Friday. And she works in 47-2. Jill, does that time maybe oversay what this workout really is?
Well, that's exactly right. If you're just looking at the final time, this is going to end up as a bullet workout for today, the best of 62 at the distance. So if you're just looking at numbers, you're thinking, wow, she worked great. She gets a bullet workout. I didn't like the way she worked, though. She's getting out badly. You can see, I mean, Gary, that's uncomfortable for a rider, the way she's going around that turn. She's really bearing out badly. And yes, she goes fast, but I just would not be that pleased with this work.
Another one that was very aggressive early on, and at first when I was watching this work, I said, well, maybe it's because the rider was having to take too much hold of her early on, was causing her to want to drift out. Horses notoriously will do that if you take too much hold, but right here he pitches her head a little bit, asked her to pick it up. She doesn't drift out anymore, but you can see her head still tipped to the inside here. It was a fast workout, but I personally, it wasn't one of my favorites of the day.
I'm quite intrigued by. I find it's a unique event in its own right, and all the premier horses from around the world, they come together to this one event, and it's a magical occasion. So I think it deserved a song to hopefully do it justice. So really, I'm proud of the work so far with the song. But really, it's an event that I feel is so important, you know, and it's not, for me, one of the highlight of the flat calendar for me. So really, it's an amazing event. From a very early age, I've been intrigued by the sport, and I think it's just it's different from everything else, and I think there's some home movies and different clips of me on an old camcorder here at home, and I'm standing up in my little cot, and I have the TV comes on, and it's Frankie Dettori winning a race on the TV, and I'm shouting them on and pretending to be riding the horse myself. So and that moments like them, you know, and I can always remember. I think my dad said to me that the thing that taught me to read the most was the racing pages of the newspaper. So it's really, I'm so into the sport, and from an early age in my upbringing, it's been really it's been a great thing for me, and I've been different from everyone, especially in school. Horse racing isn't a huge sport for young people as it's developing at the moment, and it's becoming bigger, and I'm delighted about that, because it's in my opinion my favorite sport, and there's no comparison to anything else.
Coming up on HRTV Rewind.
And away they go. Here's Starlight Magic now coming, looking for the lead.
They're going to clean shave me on Wednesday. Yeah. so the fourth and fifth chins will be revealed once again. Then I will have to. We're going to spin a mustache wheel.
You're watching HRTV Rewind.
Coming to the top of the lane, and Show Me the Stage takes the lead and goes for home. Shashim and Lafitte Pink Eye coming powerfully down the centre of the track now. Shashim is coming gamely at Show Me the Stage. It's Shashim. Here now's Dusty Heather with a late run. Shashim, Dusty Heather, Cover Gal getting involved late. Shashim gonna just hang on. 9,000 for Pink Eye. Shashim wins by a neck to Dusty Heather. Cover Gal was third.
The acceleration on Will Be Awesome. Luckily, I was down there at the winner's circle with the simulcast, but this is a horse that you had a feeling, a mile and 16th, I'm sure, would be in the wheelhouse. Now, did you feel the same way after this race?
Absolutely. If you watch the gallop out where she galloped around the turn, I think this is what she wants to do. I do.
What are you hoping for on Cal Cup Day? What kind of trip are you expecting her to get with Pedrosa back in the irons and not being at Fairplex?
Well, I'm one of those kind of guys. I don't coach on the coach. Once they open the gates, you know, you kind of, these jockeys ride every day. So I'm just hoping she gets a real clean race and doesn't have any trouble. And I think she'll be right there.
And away they go. Here's Starlight Magic now coming, looking for the lead. And this daughter of Marino Marini, Starlight Magic, takes the California Cup Juvenile Fillies easily. But here's Rousing Sermon, and Rousing Sermon powerhousing up on the outside. And Rousing Sermon, an authoritative winner today. and Unzip Me now strikes the front and starts to come home very, very stylishly. And it is Unzip Me, just a flawless performance today. 5 for Bejarano. Footside keeps on finding Bob Blackjack M1 rifle, but the more they ask, the more courtside game. Holiday Road flying late, Northby on the outside, mega heat in there, Northby's gonna get up. Northby, an absolute superb ride from Rafael Bejarano. Northby wins.
Let's talk a little bit about some of the 2-year-old racing. Let's highlight the stakes because you've got the Iroquois at a mile for the 2-year-old boys. That goes as your 8th race. Of course, out of the chute in a 1-turn mile, Larry Jones, the trainer of Havre de Grace, has a horse in here, Mr. Bowling, who had a huge win at Delaware in the Dover, which has been a productive race over the years.
Yeah, it has been a productive race, and Mr. Bowling, I know, was a very impressive winner last time out, winning by 7 1/4 lengths. He's been well met from the outset, and Larry Jones bypassed considering the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, but I think that's not unusual for Larry. He likes to take his time, get the horses ready, and maybe perhaps this could be a stepping stone to the Kentucky Jockey Club Stakes.
Here's Motor City motoring down the inside rail under Calvin Burrell. 7 Lively Sins now recognizes Motor City as a huge danger. Motor City, Burrell scraping the rail, has surged through to lead in the Iroquois. Racing to the line, Motor City to give Ian Wilkes his 2nd win in the Iroquois. And it's Orbk towards the inside rail, taken on now by the Grey on Fire Baby, who's running huge down the outside. Believe You Can. Glinda the Good from the back of the pack. Here comes And Why Not, who's absolutely powering down the outside. On Fire Baby has taken the lead at the 16th. Orbk is in 2nd down the wide outside. And Why Not out in front. On Fire Baby to win for Gary Hartledge and Joe Johnson.
Churchill Downs always giving back to the community and to people at large. November, the month for prostate cancer awareness. Churchill Downs getting involved with the foundation.
We've had great success with the folks with Susan G. Komen for the Cure at the Kentucky Oaks. We've done that for 3 years, raising awareness for breast cancer, and we wanted to do something for the guys. And the Movember Foundation is a relatively new organization. I think this is the 5th year they've done it. They've had about 7.5 million people participate a year ago, and I think it's great because it challenges men to grow mustaches for 1 month in the month of November, and what that does is that automatically prompts conversation. What are you doing growing a mustache? Well, I'm growing this because it's prostate cancer awareness month, and don't forget to get checked out. Men's health issues are often not talked about, and a number of us here around the racetrack, including myself, they're going to clean shave me on Wednesday.
Yeah.
And so the 4th and 5th chins will be revealed once again, and then I will have to. We're going to spin a mustache wheel, which will actually determine the type of mustache I will be challenged to grow over the course of the month.
When HRTV Rewind returns.
Rapid Redux working hard with a 16th of a mile to go. Rich Hero tried to make a race of it.
Well, I can't hardly sleep. It's so exciting. People don't realize that the Melbourne Cup is harder to get into than Kentucky Derby.
You're watching HRTV Rewind.
From Penn to Parks, from the mountain to Maryland, and almost every track in between, he's a win machine. Rapid Redux, 16 incredible wins in a row.
He won't be smiling tonight. Rapid Redux does the smile, and he's home free by 4, 17 in a row. It's going to be 18 in a row for Rapid Redux, 1 away from joining Pepper's Pride in Zenyatta and racing history.
If someone tries to run with them, it's a pretty evenly matched field underneath my horse, and I think they'll probably finish off the board if they try. So if they do that, we'll be out there. We'll cut our 22-4, 46 flat, or and we'll be running the stretch, and I don't think anybody that tries would be.
That's the kind of confidence that we're looking for. But I want to take you back to the beginning, right when you claimed this horse for $62.50. What was it that yourself and the trainer saw in this horse that led you to claim him in the first place?
Well, I typically pick 95% of the horses. I've been a handicapper since I was a kid, and I feel like I know the game pretty well. And what I was doing was I saw his dad, his sire, was a 1.25 mile horse, made a ton of money, $5 or $6 million, and I thought that he might be able to stretch out and be good at it, a freewheeling, front-running type stretch-out horse. And that is kind of the way it worked out, and these things typically don't work out this well, but I thought he would have the speed to get the lead, and I thought he might be able to carry it with that breeding, and everything's just fallen into place. We've had good luck, and we'll try to get one more today.
Rapid Redux hunkering down now at the furlong pole, a length and a half in front. Here on the outside is Rich Hero. Rapid Redux working hard with a 16th of a mile to go. Rich Hero tried to make a race of it, but Rapid Redux runs up the tally. 19 in a row to win by 2.5.
He's drawn towards the inside and obviously a smaller field now. Where do you expect him to be placed with all that sloppy kickback coming back? Would you like to see him a little closer or maybe a little wider under Jeremy Rose?
Yeah, we're going to be a little closer just because the horse is really sharp now. But there is a lot of speed in the race, which is okay with us, because if the speed goes out there and runs with each other, then it sets it up really nice for us. I'm worried mostly about the 2-horse. He's coming off of a huge race at Philadelphia, and if he could duplicate that race, he might even beat me.
And Ben's Cat now gets away to a length lead from Royal Courier, My Cuz CJ. Action Andy in between horses, battles on. 1 furlong left to go. Ben's Cat, Royal Courier, Action Andy trying to barge in there. And outside is My Cuz CJ. It's just another winning day at the track for Ben's Cat to score by 2.
Well, I can't hardly sleep. It's so exciting. You know, people don't realize that the Melbourne Cup is harder to get into than Kentucky Derby. I mean, there was 20 other horses that wanted to run in it that couldn't even get in. So just to even be in the race and be considered a contender is like, you know, I can't explain it in words. I mean, it's just, I'm numb every day. I can't wait.
When did you ship him to Australia?
Unusual has been there 6 months already. He left here in April, so he's already been there 6 months. I sent him away, and this was a plan for a year to get him there. We're finally an opportunity, and you know, he loves it in Australia. He loves everything there. You know, his last race was just a prep race for the Melbourne Cup, and he ran well. And you know, for him, he won the last 5 furlongs in 59 and change, going a 1.5 miles. So if he can do the same thing in the Melbourne Cup, you know, guess what? He might be one of the horses that can win the race.
That's all for Rewind this week. Here's a look at what's coming up next week on HRTV.
Darren, I don't know if they're going to let us do it, but if they do, maybe we can all go for the old 70s Oakland A's look, and we'll all go for those mustaches. I'll go for the Raleigh fingers.
It's a good cause. Oh, yeah, I challenge everybody at HRTV to get on board. Let's all look foolish together.